Welcome to the newest episode of Beyond the Fame with Jason Fraley. I'm your host, Jason Fraley, picking the brains of the top filmmakers, musicians, and artists of our time. Letterkenny presents a night of stand-up at the Capitol Turnaround in Washington, D.C. this Saturday. I spoke to actor and comedian Mark Forward, who memorably played the hockey coach named Coach, about what made Letterkenny so hilarious. He even offers advice for Washington Caps star Alex Ovechkin as he tries to break Wayne Gretzky's all-time goals record. Hey, Mark Forward. Hey, thanks so much for joining us on WTOP in Washington, D.C.
Thank you very much for having me.
We are talking because Letterkenny, a night of stand-up, is coming to the Capitol Turnaround in D.C. on March 2nd. Pitter-patter, let's get at her. Well, you're the headliner. Of course, you played Coach, but I know Jeff McHenry, who played Alexander, is coming too. Is this like a rotating cast member thing depending on the month and the town you're in, or, how does it work?
No, it's me, Jeff McHenry plays Alexander, and another stand-up named Allie Pierce who writes on Shoresy and Letterkenny. Jeff's been doing stand-up for about 15, 20 years in Canada, and I've been doing it the same. And so we got this wonderful opportunity to go showcase what we can do. Yeah, so we're pretty excited to come to Washington.
Awesome. So you're saying that it's always been the three of you all. It's like it's not the other cast members. Like it's just your all's operation.
This version is Letterkenny Presents a Night of Stand-Up, which is just stand-up with the three of us. We have done live tours with the cast as well, and they were a lot of fun as well. But yeah, this version is a great night of stand-up.
Okay, great. And how long have you been doing this version?
This is our first tour. We started in November, and we finish in April.
Okay, great. So then this would be definitely your first time playing the nation's capital here. Do you tailor any specific jokes when you come to DC? Like do you weave in any political stuff, or is it more talking about other stuff?
No, I don't touch on any of that. My stuff is pretty fun and silly, and you learn nothing, and you probably come out stupider than you did when you came in. So I like to
Like the
keep
show
it.
itself.
Yeah. Uh, but I love coming to DC. It's a fun place to do stand up. So we're looking forward to it.
That's awesome. Now, for Letterkenny fans, do you ever play any clips like on a screen behind you or anything, or is it more like a straight stand-up kind of a deal?
Again, on the last tour, there was lots of sketches and stuff, but this one's just stand up and by some pretty great stand up. So yeah, it's a fun night out.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Remind our listeners who maybe haven't seen Letterkenny, which they should. You'll be laughing by the first or second episode. You know what I mean? Like some of the back and forth banter that they do about Facebook and fart book and all. I was just laughing out loud. But yeah, like remind people the sort of the backstory. How didn't it start as like a YouTube series, and then Crave TV in Canada picked it up long before Hulu, right?
That's correct. Jared had made it on his own. Some like three or four shorts about the hockey players coming up to the produce stand, and it just took off on YouTube and had millions of views. And so Crave came along and said, "Let's develop this into a series." And then all the townsfolk were added, and the cast just grew and grew, and we populated it with some of the most crazy people. So and wonderfully cast. So it was a lot of fun. Such a weird and different show.
Absolutely. Right from the jump, you can tell it's got its own vibe. The food stand, you got the Hicks and the Skids and the Jocks or the hockey players.
Yeah.
What do you think that that's why it kind of worked? Like that no matter who you are, you probably can relate to one of
I
those
think that's
three.
I think it's exactly what it is. I think people can relate to someone on the show. I find it amazing because I play such a psychotic, messed up human being as the hockey coach. And I thought, to me, who's never played hockey, I thought, oh, this guy can't exist in the real world. But all the hockey players I meet are like, oh, I know that guy. So um, yeah, I think just everybody relates to it. Everybody relates to small town, and everybody's been to small towns or spent their summers in small towns, and it's just got a real international feel. I think you just don't know really where it is that's taking place, but everybody can relate.
Oh yeah, well yeah, and it's interesting to me that you said that you had never coached or played hockey or anything.
No, I am non-athletic in every single way. I based coach on most of my gym teachers who were very cruel to the non-athletic people. Yeah, no, never played hockey. Like I showed up And I even had to ask Jared, like, I don't even know what some of these things mean. I had to learn what a SUI pass is, and yeah, it was pretty fun. Pretty fun
That's
to just come in and scream at your coworkers for a day. I think everybody would like that job.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, wait a minute. Now I'm curious. If you so you're basing it on, gym teachers and things you've seen, but did you also go back and, do you go watch Paul Newman and Slapshot or, Gordon Bombay and the Mighty Ducks or you know what I mean? Like did you have to go
I
back and
mean,
do any
here's the thing. I'm
research?
Canadian, right? So we get entrenched in coffee, sorry, in hockey, coffee, and I haven't had
Freudian
one yet.
slip.
But yeah, I just rolled in. I haven't had one yet. But yeah, we get, we're pretty entrenched in hockey all the time. So yeah, I didn't play, but I'm very aware of the world and those movies, and of course we watch those. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, you're coming to DC, and the Washington Caps and Alex Ovechkin, are
Yeah,
arguably.
he's gonna break the record.
You think he's gonna? I mean, for years, Wayne Gretzky, you would have thought no one could ever pass it. The great one,
Yeah.
but Ovi might do it. I think he's gonna
I
be able to
think
play long enough to
Ovi
do it.
I think Ovi might do it, and then I think Matthews is gonna break it right after him.
Well, do you think what advice would the coach have for Ovechkin? I feel like this would be a good soundbite for the radio.
Well, I think he's gonna get tired. He's getting up there. I mean, stick it out. Don't pass. Don't ever pass. Just keep shooting. Be be selfish with the puck as you try to break the record. You can't be giving the puck away. Just keep shooting it.
Yeah, but
His,
the
his one
coach, if
timer
you were
is
doing it in coach
crazy.
character, he'd probably be yelling at him a little more than that, right?
Yeah, he probably would be, but you know what? I haven't had my coffee and it's 11 a.m. and I'm in a hotel room and I don't really want to annoy the neighbors.
It's probably smart. Yeah. Well, coffee and hockey are interchangeable, as we've learned. That's your iced coffee. I love it. So, all right. So, we should remind our listeners. So, you come in as coach in season one, probably like episode 4 or something like that. Yelling at the jocks as they spit their, whatever tobacco juice in their Gatorade bottles or whatever. And you're
Mhm.
yelling at them out. But do you know what was it always the plan to have be like a recurring character? Because I feel like you really ramp up how many episodes you get to be in around after
I
a
don't
couple seasons.
know. You know what? I should ask Jared that whether it was a plan to keep me going. But in my head, I was there for the day, and also I wasn't supposed to play coach. Someone else was supposed to play him, so I only had like a week's notice to come in for this role, and then I got the greatest job in the world for 12 seasons and get to tour live shows and now headline it. So it's been crazy. But I went in that day thinking, oh, this is just a job for the day. This will be fun.
Yeah, well, just the way to view it is you were so funny that they're like, we have to have him keep coming back.
I won't say that, but I'm going to say that probably since there was hockey players involved, the coach would live on. But maybe they could have fired me if I stunk.
Yeah, yeah. Well, apparently you didn't stink because they had
Yeah,
your back.
apparently, because here we are,
Yeah,
12 seasons later, and I get to keep working.
still rolling animated series and stand up series and yeah, it's become its own cottage industry
Universe.
universe. There you
Yeah,
go.
it's like it's the own Marvel universe now, and I think they're even thinking of expanding it. So there's lots more to come.
Absolutely. Do you think Wayne, Daryl, Katie, Squirrely Dan, do you think the group coached by coach could take on the Avengers?
I don't know. I
Who would
think
win?
I think the Avengers would end it in a second, but I think that Wayne would think he could win because he's the toughest guy in Letterkenny.
He's the toughest guy in town, and you should start the DC shows that way. If Wayne ever came with you, just challenge whoever in DC to see who's to a fight.
He's
Who's
the
tough.
toughest. Yeah.
Well, we've mentioned all the that main forecast. We've gone deep into your character, Coach. But real quick, if you could just dish on, I'll say I'm rapid fire and just brag on him real quick. What makes him funny? You think like
Sure.
Jared Kiso? What makes him so great as Wayne? He's hilarious.
uh, Posture, the squint, the commitment to the toughness and and the squint. Like once action is called and his back straightens up, he's a whole different person.
I love that. The transformation. How about
Yeah.
Nathan Dales as Daryl?
Just lovable and a bit dim, but you're rooting for that guy.
Yeah. And then Katie, Michelle Millette.
Yeah, Millette, just almost the grounded one of the group, keeps them in line, and everybody in town takes real good care of her.
And we don't have time for everybody, but let's end with Squirrely Dan, Cave
Burly
Trevor
Dan
Wilson.
and his extra S's on the strangest amounts of words. Yeah, just a big, lovable guy, but you wouldn't want to cross him.
Oh, and I guess we also have to shout out, behind the scenes, Jared and Kiso, and then the co-creator, developer Jacob Tierney.
Jacob.
Like, what
Yeah.
do you think of like Trey Parker, Matt Stone, some, you know what I mean, like some of the great comedy duos, but what do you think their special gift, Jared and Jacob, is together?
I just think they're very different human beings, and so the two of them, I think any good writing team, the one person picks up the other person's slack, and the other person picks up what you're good at and what they're good at, sort of mixes and becomes this one creative force. And also Jacob directed every episode that was ever made, and he also plays Glenn on the show, so he was quite busy as well.
Absolutely. Do you have
Yeah.
do you have, people probably ask you this all the time, but do you have a
Mhm.
favorite scene that you were in or that you weren't in that just cracks you up, or episode, or you know what I mean? Like when it's 12
I
seasons.
enjoyed the Valentine's episode where I had to tell Playfire that I was going to have sex with him. Of course, I said it more vulgarly in the show, but when I'm demanding that I'm going to, I have to speed date with Dylan Playfair, and we had a lot of fun because he could not get through that scene. That was one of my faves.
When you're breaking up your fellow cast members.
Oh, I love breaking them up.
That's the best. Well, that's what always, when you're watching it could be the old Carol Burnett shows or Saturday Night Live, or what I mean, whenever you see the people, even in Seinfeld, Jerry's trying to keep it together. Those are the funniest scenes to me, when people are
Yeah, it's
laughing.
pretty fun, especially the Jared breaking from Wayne. It's such a huge transition that it's a good feeling to get him to laugh.
That's so great. Well, outside of Letterkenny, like you're saying, you didn't know it would last, but it did, and it gave you other roles. Memories, real quick, on playing Donnie Mashman in Fargo. What was that, season 3?
Season 3, yeah. What it was a great experience. I had the time of my life working with Carrie Coon and Shea Wiggum, and yeah, it was crazy. It was so much fun. I really love that. The writing on that show is just brilliant. So what a treat to get to be on it.
Now, are you biased? Is that your favorite season of Fargo? Because the one that just
Yeah, it's the best one. It's the only one everyone should watch.
and you're allowed to say that, but I, as our movie and TV critic, invite everyone to check them all out. I mean, season 1 with Billy Bob was great, and the one that just wrapped with Juno Temple and John Hamm was amazing too.
Yeah, season 3 was the best one. That's what you meant to say.
Season 3. Oh, season 2 too, with Kirsten Dunst, where she hits Kieran Culkin with the car.
Yeah, but season 3 was the best one. So that's what you meant to say.
You're just gonna stick to that line, as you probably should. Everyone, check out season 3 of Fargo. Well, what else is coming up? Do we want to? I always love to give our guests, a chance to plug if you have any other projects coming out in addition.
Well, we
to
got this 40 city tour that ends in April, so I'm pretty busy till then. And just wrapped. We just released a new show called Bria Mac Gets a Life on Crave in Canada, so you can't see it, but it's a great show, and hopefully,
we promise you it's good. You can't watch it, but
yeah, you can't watch it in the Americas, but you know what? You couldn't watch Letterkenny for a while in America, so hopefully it'll get to you guys soon.
How many seasons did it take before it did come over to the States? Do you remember?
That's a great question. I don't remember when Hulu started airing it. I don't remember.
I'll have to look that up when we hop over.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, you can see Mark Forward in Letterkenny Presents a Night of Stand-Up at the Capitol Turnaround in DC on March 2nd. Thank you so much for doing this. This was a lot of fun.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, pitter patter.
Okay.
All right, see you, man.
Take care.
Thanks so much for listening to Beyond the Fame with Jason Fraley. Our theme music is Scott Buckley's Clarion. Remember to give us a 5-star rating if you like what you hear. We'll see you next time.